Okay, this is a demo for 3 people because I did 3 of these at the same time. So this will be for Jasmine, for Sam, and also for Jaiden. I did all 3 of your guys' Aniflex Elites at the same time this morning. I figured it was easier just to make one video rather than 3 that are, basically the same. Although this particular saber belongs to Sam because Sam had me put some sound fonts on it. The other 2 are running the stock font package, and all 3 of them have the config file that I used on the SD card, so you'll be able to change them and do whatever you want. All right, they're all installed with Proffies. They're 2-button setups. So your top switch is right here, up here. Your bottom switch down here is your auxiliary. I did have to do a little bit to get these install ready. For instance, your blade retention is underneath this button, so you have to unscrew this. And I currently do not have a 7/8 inch blade to throw in here to show you that these fire up, so apologies for that. I sent it out for someone to use real quick, and then I haven't got it back yet. So I don't currently have one, but everything was tested outside of the saber and it works fine. And I will show you that these all light up because they all have the CC Sabers lit PCBs. But when you take this button off, you'll see that grub screw right in the front there, kind of hard with the lighting. Maybe you can kind of see it right there. That is your blade retention. And it's probably not something that's going to show up, but when you get it in person, you'll see on either side of the button or the switch, there are 2 screws. There's 2 screws there, and there's also another 2 down here. I had to go in and countersink the mounts for these screws, or for these button holders. I guess you could call them. I'm calling them button brackets or whatever they are. I had to countersink the 2 holes on this one and then the 2 holes on this one. So when I use the screws to hold these in, they wouldn't interfere with the switches, right? So I did that. Everything's good. I went through on all of these because the emitter was a bit loose, and I was talking to Lewis about that. He said that they were a bit loose on purpose for people who wanted to dual. I went ahead and I tightened these up. So I took that chrome piece off the emitter. It's just held on with 1 grub screw. Put some CA glue on the tip of this black piece, and then I remounted the chrome piece. So now everything is nice and tight there, okay? And then the last thing I had to do as far as modification wise to all of these sabers is I had to take the screw for the Covertech and shaved about 1/4 inch off of it, right? So that I could put this all the way on and it wouldn't interfere with your chassis. How to get to your chassis is you just want to unscrew this guy. So on the V2, I did a removable chassis. On this guy, I did a static chassis. And this is what that looks like right here. So this says, actually, it says Aniflex Elite right here in Arabic. It says Solo Sabers over here for me. I do have some various things going on here, like the Vaderkin, so that's like half Vader, half Anakin. You've got these 2 separate symbols here, and then this is the full quote from Yoda about fear and anger, all in Arabic. And then when you flip it over here, you guys have a removable battery. All the wires are hidden, so you don't see any of that. And then your Proffie boards right here. Now these are all snap fit down into the shelf. You don't have to move the board to get to your SD card or your micro USB. It's all accessed from right here. You can kind of see how it dips down. Take a pair of tweezers and pull your SD card out, and everything can go in like that. You will need a 90-degree data cable though that looks like this, and it's meant to fit right in there. And this is how I programmed all of these, so you shouldn't have any problems doing that. Okay. On Sam's, which is this one, he had me add 3 sound fonts, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll fire those up and show you what those sound like. So we'll put a battery in here. You're not going to hear anything because these all have kill switches, and the kill switches are located right underneath the board, right here, right? So we'll flip this over.
You owe me one, and not for saving your skin for the 10th time.
Just like that, and then we can go ahead and we can put the handles on. It is a very snug fit, but everything fits exactly like it should. I try to model my chassis to hug right up against the inside diameter of the handle. So you can be rough with these if you want, and there will be no rattling around, right? We'll come over here, hit activation. Saber sounds really good. Your speaker's located about right here. Got your LEDs firing up in there like they should. Auxiliary. Blade lockup is holding the button down and hitting the saber. gave you all twist off. I did not put swing on or anything like that on, but I did put twist off on. And then to get to your sound fonts on each one, it's just a long press on the button, on the power button, right? And then the same thing to turn it off, just a long press. Switching sound fonts is just hitting the aux when the saber's off.
Darth Vader.
Now, Sam, I do have your sound fonts, every blade color on blue for Anakin. But if you want to switch colors, hold down aux and hit power. You'll hear that noise, and then you can twist the saber. I mean, this goes for everyone. You can do that on the stock fonts too. Hold down aux and hit power. Twist that around until you find something you like. Say we like that color, we'll just hit power. You'll hear that. Now when we turn it back on, we've got that color. Right. One more.
General Kenobi.
Very solid saber, pretty hefty. They all came with plaques, which will be in your bag, or I'm sorry, in the saber box, obviously. They came with actual brown bags for the saber, so those will be in the box as well. And everything that was in the box, obviously, will be in there. So I think you also have a blade plug. One thing that I did differently with this particular model on the Elite than I did with the V2. On the V2, my chassis, it kind of required you to shave down the blade plug a little bit. I modeled this chassis around the blade plug, so you can fit it in there without shaving it down, but you will need to sand it because what I've noticed is they are all very tight. The actual emitter piece and the blade plug came separately from the saber, and it was a bit of a chore to get it out. So before you put your blade plugs in and get them stuck, sand them down a little bit and test fit it, right? And don't put them all the way in there until you have a nice loose fit. That's something that's going to fall out easy on you when you go like that. All right, but we'll come over here, take this back off, and I'll show you that the kill switch is doing what it's supposed to do. So we hit power, saber's on until we come over here and flip the switch, and it kills everything like it should, right? And then from the positive side by the speaker, you should be able to pop your battery out with your finger just like that. But though that is pretty much your guys' Aniflex Elites. Let me know if you got any questions. And if not, I've already packaged 2 of you guys up and given you tracking numbers. So Sam, I will package this up today and give you a tracking number. Okay, thank you.